Welcome to the Soulcery Podcast, your sacred space to delve into spiritual tools, topics, and practices that will illuminate your path of soul remembering and healing. I'm your host, Ligia Costa, a soul guide, alchemist, soul writing coach, and the creator of the Trust Pathway. I'm deeply grateful to have you here with me. Together, we will embark on a profound exploration of self-discovery and healing, unlocking the secrets that lie within. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Soulcery Podcast. And today I'm so excited to talk about this theme because that's been something I've struggled for a long time. I didn't even know this about myself. And I feel like many people don't know about it either. So I'm going to talk about what is a highly sensitive person, what are the traits of a highly sensitive person, what are the challenges that we face every day, and what coping mechanisms, what coping strategies we can use as highly sensitive people to navigate the world where most people are not as sensitive as us. So are you ready? I am. I'm so excited. So yeah, I've been always telling myself, and I've been always told that I am an empath because of my high intuition, my ability to get messages through dreams, so being very clairvoyant, and also that ability of feeling other people's emotions so much that sometimes I feel they are my own, and feeling energies like when I get in a room and I feel like something is off. So I've always had this idea that I am an empath, but actually I'm a highly sensitive person. So I'd like to touch on this today. And, maybe you are in the same position as me, and we can be both. We can be empaths and highly sensitive people. There is definitely a connection there, but there are always nuances there. So it's really interesting to talk about this. So first, let's talk about what it means to be a highly sensitive person. Highly sensitive people are individuals who have a heightened sensitivity to all the external stimuli, right? Including emotions, sounds, and environments. And this heightened sensitivity can be both a gift and also a challenge, because it allows for a deeper level of understanding and compassion, but it also makes us more susceptible to feeling overwhelmed and feeling this emotional exhaustion that most times we don't even know where it comes from. Because as HSPs, which is the short for highly sensitive people, we don't just feel the emotions, right? We absorb them. We internalize them. Sometimes to the point of feeling so overwhelmed. And this can make daily life very challenging, as we might find ourselves easily affected by other people's emotions, by other people's energies, depending on our career and our work environment. Imagine you are in a very loud, crowded space where you work day in, day out, and you are AHP. You're going to struggle. You're going to feel overwhelmed most days. So recognizing this is the first step towards managing our sensitivity. And there are some traits, some signs that can tell you are an AHP. So we often notice the subtitles in our environment, right? The things that other people just miss or don't notice at all. We notice everything. All the subtitles, the looks, the unspoken words, the energy, the scents, any slight changes in temperature or noise levels, everything we notice. And then we are so deeply affected by it and by the emotions of others that, for instance, being in a very crowded place or in intense social situations is really hard for us. The thing I like about being an HSP, and that's what we share, is that we tend to have a very rich inner world. We are the deep thinkers and the feelers. We process information and experience at such profound level. We go through everything, every detail, going back to all the roots. We are very thorough, but not because we want to justify anything. It's just because we want to understand it. But this also makes us more susceptible to feeling stress or to have anxiety, because we might at times, and I feel I have a lot of this, we might ruminate our negative experiences or our past, and it's very difficult to letting go of these intense emotions. So this is something to look out for. And apart from this being a challenge, there are other challenges that highly sensitive people come across. For instance, we might find ourselves easily overwhelmed by sensory stimuli, and we might need a lot more time to recharge, like a lot of downtime and alone time to recharge compared to other people. For example, I have times that just the fact that my dog is running, doing his zoomies or running from one place to the other, and because we have a laminated floor, and his nails, no matter how many times I cut those nails, they always make noise. And there are times it doesn't bother me at all. But there are other times that just that fidgeting of running from one place to the other and the noise, it really triggers me. I don't know how to explain, it really overwhelms me. And then, I just need alone time. I need to step away from that noise, from all that stimuli, not only in terms of, noise, but also what I'm seeing, like him running around and do all the things that I just need to step away from it. Another challenge that we face is setting boundaries. It can be really, really tough because as we feel other people's emotions and needs so deeply, we also feel this very strong desire to help and to please others. We are huge people pleasers. And most times that comes at the expense of our own well-being, right? So these can lead to burnout and a constant feeling of being drained if we don't set healthy boundaries that will protect our energy. Another thing is being a highly sensitive person, if you are one, you probably came across a lot of criticism growing up. You probably were called the drama queen or the crybaby or too sensitive or too emotional. Other kids making fun of you because you were too sensitive and you cried. I definitely had that all. I was called the crybaby, and I know I would cry for anything. I was very easy to cry, and the other kids pick up on that, so they kind of enjoyed it to a point. They would make things they would say to me, it's so easy to make you cry. We do this, just to make you cry. I'm yeah, great. And I couldn't stop it. That is the thing. I couldn't stop it. But even now as an adult, I get very emotional very easily. So you probably got a lot of criticism, and if you are an HSP and you heard a lot of criticism about you being emotional and a crybaby and all of that, you internalize that your sensitivity is something that is not accepted, is something that's wrong, that is probably too much and people can't deal with it. And if that is the case, you are seeing, possibly until this day, your sensitivity as something that you need to bottle up, that you need to hide, that you're probably ashamed of. But that's far from it, Your sensitivity is your superpower. It's what makes you you, is what makes you so empathetic, so compassionate, so aware of other people's needs. And the world needs the HSP, the world needs the people that have that nurturing, that have that ability to be the connectors with other people, right? So there are ways that you can manage your sensitivity and navigate life more easily without you feeling ashamed or feeling like you need to repress your sensitivity. And one of the most important strategies is really prioritizing self-care. And I'm not talking about self-care in the sense of, bubble baths and skincare and retail therapy, but more like regular alone time. And engaging in activities that bring you joy, that makes you relax, because that's really important. And this may include hobbies like reading or painting or just spending time in nature. It doesn't matter. But it's really important that you allow time to be a hermit. And that's completely okay. That's actually necessary for you. It's vital for you that you create space to be alone, to rest. That's really important. And another strategy, which might be a bit more difficult if you are a people pleaser, is setting boundaries. That's very, very important. Learning to say no and prioritizing your own needs will help you to prevent burnout. And we don't need to be rude about this. You don't need to make people feel like they don't matter. No, you just need to communicate your boundaries clearly and assertively, explaining it, just communicating it, just to make sure that your needs are respected as well and are understood by others. And if you would like more support on this, I have a masterclass on how to master healthy boundaries. It's a very thorough masterclass where I go through your own archetypes as, creating boundaries. What does it mean to create boundaries, how you can do it, and how you know that you are effectively creating those boundaries yourself. I will leave the link in the show notes, but if you'd like to jump straight on, go to www.ligiacosta.co.uk and just go into the tab that says Work With Me, Shop DIY Courses, and you will see the masterclass in there. So building healthy boundaries also involves identifying and communicating your limits, both in terms of time and emotional availability. It's very easy to get interrupted or people calling and you are in the middle of something, and because you are a people pleaser, you don't want that person to feel like, oh, if I don't answer the call, they'll think I'm avoiding them. And you answer the call, but that is taking away, for instance, time that you were doing something important, right? Or even when you're resting and you keep being interrupted. It's really important that, you set boundaries that respect your time and your emotions and your well-being. You should be mindful of what drains your energy and establish boundaries that prevent you to get into that stage of overwhelm that when you're there, it's harder to then rest and recharge and come out of it. So practicing self-awareness, again, is super key to understanding your own limits and your needs. So pay attention to your emotions and to the physical sensations in your body in order to recognize when you are becoming overwhelmed and drained. Because when you tune into your own needs, you can then set boundaries that support your overall well-being. And you know when those limits are being crossed. Self-care is also very important for maintaining your emotional and physical well-being. Prioritizing activities, for instance, that promote relaxation, such as mindfulness or meditation, or even doing regular exercise and getting enough sleep is really, really important. And for instance, in my case, it's really hard for me to just naturally do exercise. It's really hard for me, although I know a lot about the benefits of doing regular exercise. It's something that doesn't come natural to me. But as I shared in the previous episodes, in May I did this 100-mile challenge for the Cancer Research UK. So I had to do 8k steps a day to get into that 100 miles by the end of the month. And although it didn't come natural to me and it was hard at the beginning, I did see a lot of benefits. After a while, I started to feel the benefits. My energy levels were better, my mood was better, I could sleep better as well. Even if you, like me, don't like to do exercise and go to the gym and go running and do all of those cardio kind of workouts, just, going out and walking for 20 minutes, half an hour, it will really help you with your emotional and physical well-being. And this also comes to, creating a calm and peaceful environment around your house, your workplace, your living space. It should promote tranquility and have like soothing colors, comfortable furniture, comfortable textiles, soothing scents, soft lighting, everything that really don't bring a lot of stimuli that then overwhelms your highly sensitive nature. Now, in terms of relationships as an HSP, that's a funny one because obviously, as highly sensitive people, we are very attuned with other people's energies and emotions. And we're kind of the connectors of the society. We want people to feel happy and comfortable and welcome and that they belong. But at the same time, that is very fulfilling for us. It's also very challenging because we often have this deep capacity for love and compassion, but we also struggle with the intensity of emotions that come with having these close connections. So it's really important to, again, communicate our needs and our boundaries in relationships so that we make sure that other people understand and respect them. And when we need that time away, they understand that it's not us acting different or that something changed in our relationships, but more like we need to have that time away to recharge. But not everyone will understand that. So another important thing is to surround yourself with supportive and understanding individuals who value your sensitivity. And that starts by perhaps educating your loved ones about what it means to be a HSP and how they can provide support when you need help, right? It's about communicating that, making them aware so they can also see the signs when you start feeling overwhelmed, when you start feeling very irritable because the stimuli around you is, getting too annoying for you. So they will see the signs and they will either change their behavior or help you, like taking you away from the situation, for example. And that makes a huge difference, having this strong support network of people around you that understand you and that don't judge your sensitivity. That's really important as well. It makes a huge difference on how you can navigate the world with your sensitivity. Now, again, as highly sensitive people, we might also struggle with our careers. And choosing a career that aligns with our sensitivity is very important. But because most times we are not even aware about this trait that we have, we try to fit in and to push, and we end up struggling in careers or work environments that are not aligning with our trait. But we don't know what we don't know. So we just kind of get into the roles that other people are doing without realizing that that's against our nature, basically. For instance, HSPs are really, really good counselors, social workers, or artists, or work in the creative fields. Because apart from us having this empathetic nature, these careers provide opportunities to make a positive impact in the world and to engage in meaningful work. And it's also important to find work environments that support our need to have this calm and peaceful atmosphere around us. For example, open office spaces like we see in so many companies can create a lot of high pressure and can be very overwhelming because you kind of in the middle of everybody else's energies and pressures that they are putting on you. And this can lead to increased stress and burnout. So be mindful of that as well. And another thing that helps us navigate the world with our sensitivity is to engage in personal development, engage in self-growth activities. And this could include like reading books or attending workshops that focus on understanding and embracing sensitivity, or expanding your knowledge and your skills, and anything that really brings you awareness of who you are deep down, that feeds that curiosity and that need of being a deep thinker and wanting to make sense of the world and of who you are. So that helps, and then also propels your self-growth and your personal development, which is amazing. So yeah, while being a highly sensitive person can have its challenges, and I definitely encountered many in my life, and it took me many, many years to realize that I was an HSP and that my sensitivity wasn't wrong or something to be ashamed of. It's really important to recognize and embrace the strengths that come from it, the gift that it is to be sensitive, because again, it gives us that deep capacity for empathy, for compassion, for intuition, which can then impact our personal and professional lives, but also the world. And I think for many of us, it's so important that we make that difference in the world, that we help other people the same way that we wanted to be helped when we were struggling. So implementing these coping strategies that I just talked about and setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing self-care can help you to just go through life with a bit more ease, with a bit more fulfillment, with less guilt or shame around your personality, because there is nothing wrong with you. Yes, you're different from other people. Remember that we are a very unique breed. Only between 20 to 30% of humanity are HSPs. So we are kind of special, to be honest. We have to look at our sensitivity that way, that we are special, and stop trying to fit in the box that everybody else is, and stop trying to feel like we have to explain ourselves because we never feel understood. Yes, it's frustrating. Yes, it's annoying. But when we understand that, yeah, people don't understand this, or because I'm emotional, because I can read these subtle signs that they are missing, it's not because it's something wrong with me and I'm overreacting and being dramatic, but actually it's a superpower that I have that allows me to know all of these things. Then it's easier to navigate life with more fulfillment and with less feelings of shame around it. And not seeing our sensitivity as a burden, but rather something that allows us to thrive in a world that is often so overwhelming and so disconnected. We can actually be grounded and connected. I hope this conversation was helpful. If you are a highly sensitive person and probably you're listening to this and you never realized you are, right? I will bring more about this because it's something that I've been exploring more about myself. I realized that many of my clients, or many of the people that are attracted into my world, they are highly sensitive as well. And that's why we connect in such a deeper way. But again, it's building this community, having this supportive circle of people that actually understand what it is to feel and to be a highly sensitive person. That to me is so important. So I'm going to bring more about this and explore more about it. Before I love you and leave you, I will pull a card from the Trust Journaling deck. And the card that came up is from the Thrive suite. And the soul inquiry is, what do I need to be thinking, believing, saying, doing? What do I need to be thinking, believing, saying, doing? And the affirmation is, my potential is limitless. I hope this episode was insightful. I would love to hear your thoughts. You can reach out to me on social media or send me an email or even comment. If you are on Apple or Spotify, you can review and comment the podcast. I would love to hear from you. And I will see you on the next one. Thank you for listening to the Soulcery Podcast and for holding space for this conversation. It is truly magical to be able to walk with you on this journey of soul healing and inner transformation. If you resonated with this episode and found it valuable, I would be grateful if you could leave a review on iTunes. Your feedback helps me reach more souls searching for guidance and healing. For more guidance and soul wisdom to support soul awakening women through the journey of alchemy, please visit my website www.ligiacosta.co.uk. Love and healing to all. See you on the next one.